Hey.
Ciao, everyone. Buona domenica. If you're watching on Sunday, if you're watching another day, hope you're having a great day. Welcome to another chat with Eszter and Alfred, where every Sunday we bring you topics of all things Sicilian. Right, Al?
Something that will make you be amazed and be wondered.
I see a lot of people already live here. Joe Essioni. We have Emily. We have Vivian over here. We have David at Ciganella, Pat Galfano. Ciao, everyone. Hey, Diana Marie. It's Anna Marie. She's using her daughter's account. Marta, our guide from Anna, is joining us. Ciao, Marta.
Ciao,
Buona
Marta.
domenica. So we have so much to talk to you about today, including World War II in Sicily, the difference between Baccala and stoccu, and different recipes. But I want to start out with a special story with a cup that sits in our living room, and it's a very special cup. It's Alfred's grandmother's coffee cup. And believe it or not, we are having a little bit of coffee. Ching, ching.
You know, it's English bone china. Now, that means, number one, it's not made from bone, and it's not from China. They're actually made in England. And I'm sure every Sicilian household, even Italian household in the whole world in the 50s and 60s had a whole row of these, just like we did in our house. This one over here was my favorite, the jet black one. And Mom gave it to me. Actually, Mom gave it to Anna, my sister Anna. My sister Anna gave it to me. And then the rest of my mom's collections and grandmom's collection kind of got dispersed to all the grandkids and stuff. But I have 3 of them over here. But the reason I like this one is because every morning when I'm sitting on the deck, I pour myself my coffee with my espresso machine, which I'll show you in just a second, and I take a sip of it. And it brings me back to Lawrence when I was a kid on Haverhill Street with my father. And the whole house would smell of coffee from the percolator.
That's
Remember
right,
the
because
percolators?
you used to wake up early with your dad.
Right.
And he would have you make you some coffee.
Right. So exactly right. So I take my coffee and I pour it in my cup.
Was it one of these?
That's a Baccala. Yeah, we have 2 espresso makers like that, and we have a smaller one.
So did your dad use this or one
no,
of those American ones?
We use the American percolator. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the coffee would still go up, and then when it was all done, he'd pour himself a cup, and he'd pour me a cup. This was before my mom got up, or my
was your special time with your dad?
It was just me and my father, Sonny, and in the morning. And you think this is funny, but every single morning I come out here, I pour the coffee, and I take a sip. I mean, the smell, and I say to my father in heaven, I hope he's in heaven. Good morning, Santo. How you doing? And then I have my coffee. But this is—I
love that story.
It's a great.
Now I wanted to show you this. Okay, so see this rose over here. There's also a rose inside of the cup.
Your mom has some, doesn't she?
Yeah, of course. In Hungary, it's the same thing. We all grew up with cups like that. That actually also came from England. My grandmother gave it to my mom, who still has it. But I want to say, you know, we drink out of these big cups here. But we do make our coffee in these espressos. But here in Sicily and Italy, of course, they drink them out of these espresso cups, right? We have this beautiful set.
We do too.
Yeah, sometimes we do. We have this beautiful lemon set that people drink it out of. And, you know, when you go to a bar or, where was this one made?
It's Calvanisetta.
I think it's Caltagirone. So when we go out to the bars, they serve it into little espresso cups, and even caffè macchiato, which is what I like to drink, which is the espresso with a little bit of milk. They serve it in those. And you usually get the caffè americano, which is an espresso with hot water.
Yeah.
And they still serve it in one of those smalls. Let's give a few shout outs here, okay? Ciao, Dawn and B. Ciao, Alicia from Florida. Marta says, wonderful cup. And Ortolazo, ciao from New York State. Enjoy your vlog. Thank you so much. Hey, did you guys see our last one? We published it on Wednesday. I think it was on Pietra Perzia. Joe says, I miss those Sunday morning smells of sauce cooking and meatballs.
Yep.
Pat Galfano, ciao. Let's see. Diana Marie, I collect teacups.
Hey.
Wow. Jolt! Oh my God, Jolt Antavarga is here. Very good to see you guys. Ciao. Let's see. Go Sicily is here. Annalise is here. Oh, I got to tell you about Annalise. Jen Tadone Peterson. Stefania is here from Sicily, just down the road.
Let's get on with the show.
Oh, wait a second. We have Annalise here, and she's going to, in the description, in the chats. By the way, if you're on, you can leave us a chat over there. Buona Domenica, Maria. So she has this box of gifts that is being shipped to the United States, and she's with Go Sicily Cooking. And she does cooking demos right now, obviously online, but normally she does cooking demos for tourists. And she's got all types of good stuff from Sicilian products like pistachio, almonds. She has them all wrapped in a mappina, and she also has some cooking demos in there. So Go Sicily Cooking, leave us a message to the link of how they can get one of your boxes, and they're shipping them from the United States.
Could I finish talking about the WWII coffee maker? This is a WWII coffee maker. You can see it's pretty well worn because it's been used a lot. This is made out of stainless steel. If you're going to invest in a coffee maker like this, get this brand. Not that I have anything to do with it, but it'll last forever.
Yeah.
Number two, do not buy aluminum. Don't buy one for aluminum that you can buy, half price. I thought you could buy those at Target in the States, and I also think that you can buy it at.
I think Marshall's had it too.
They did, yeah. But here's the thing: if you're going to go through the trouble of learning how to drink coffee out of the espresso machine, buy yourself a coffee grinder, and what you do is you can buy instead of buying the regular grind coffee, you buy the whole bean coffee, and get into the habit of grinding your coffee every morning. I usually do it. Like I have a little container and I fill it up. But the secret about coffee beans in this grinder thing that you have, it depends on how long you keep the thing going. About 15 seconds will give you a good cup of American style coffee, like Starbucks or like Dunkin' Donuts or whatever they're called. And if you keep it longer, then you'll have your espresso coffee. So basically the coffee grinder, the bean is fresh, the coffee's fresh. It gives you a completely different taste.
Hey, maybe we should do a video on that, on how to make the coffee, how to install it, how to put it together, because it's
Be careful, it's still hot, isn't it?
No, it's got a few.
There's a few
that go on.
That's a 4-cup, and we also have a 2-cup, and they have a bigger one, a 6-cup, but a 4-cup is plenty. Okay.
Maria says Lavazza. Yes,
Lavazza coffee is very
good.
The Sicilian brand that's very popular is Ionia. Ionia Cafe is very good, and also Torisi coffee. Those are the 2 Catanese coffees here. There's a lot of good coffees in Italy.
Hey, really. Michael and Linda Blaze are here. They were with us. They were here with us in March.
Yeah. Oh, good, huh? Yeah. That's great. Nice.
Okay. Right. What kind of cigar do you smoke? Someone wants to know.
I smoke.
Do you have a box?
Yeah,
Toscanella?
I smoke Toscanellos. These are the ones you see Clint Eastwood's. It's about a 20-minute cigar. I don't inhale. I think it has to do with because I was an ex-cigarette smoker. But just to have something in my mouth when I have a coffee, for some reason, I can't have coffee.
Goes hand in hand for you.
Yeah. So for me, it goes hand in hand. And Toscanello, they're cheap. They're only €5 for a box. So that's about $1 each. I mean, basically, it's an old man stogie is what it is. And, that's a lot of people smoke them, though. A lot of people.
Hey, did you have a nice lunch? What did you have for lunch?
Oh, wait a minute. I was still getting over last night's.
That's what I'm talking about.
Last night's supper, Eszter made scacciata. Okay, pork scacciata. Except I insisted that you put a little bit of beef in it. But next time we'll go back to the traditional.
So I've been,
recipe.
During this period, I've been trying to make some of Alfred's favorite dishes because we couldn't go out. So I mastered the pizza. Do I have the pizza down?
The pizza's down. The scacciata is down too. That's a hard thing to get too.
The scacciata, though, is not just meat. I started out by making it just with vegetables, with spinach, right? put a piece of bread down. We did an entire episode on scacciata making, and I'll leave you guys a link below. But making it with meat was a little bit, it was a new experience.
The word scacciata doesn't mean the same thing that it does in the States.
Right.
Okay. And scacciata means anything with bread and stuff on the inside that you have, you put it on top and you bake it. Here in Sicily, what's very popular is scacciata that has broccoli in it, or prosciutto, or stuff like that. I wanted the one that I grew up with in the States, which essentially it's called a pork pie. But basically, it's ground up pork, and then she put in, what else did you put in, Eszter? You put in onions, you put in
a little bit of tomato, cheese, salt, pepper, and olive oil.
Yep, it's great. It's terrific. And she's getting quite accomplished, because we cook it in our oven. Okay, we don't have like a big baker's thing over here, but it was terrific. It's very, very good.
Okay, let's read a few more of these. It's easy with good ingredients. Says Jolt, and girl who cooks. My husband Havo is from Catania and loves scacciata.
Yeah, I
think you may have used our photo in your blog.
That's good.
I don't think. Well, I don't know. Eszter, hair looks great. Loves scacciata. Awesome. Thank you, Jim Ingram. I'm going to leave you a link to the episode, and Go Sicily. Don't forget to put your link to your website so people can get those boxes right in time for Christmas, right?
There you go.
Now we want to talk about the difference between Baccala and Stocco, which is the next thing I'm going to try and perfect with the help of my friend Stefania. She said, listen to this. Stefania, I told her about that there was Baccala in the supermarket. She went out and got it, and she made a dish today, and she sent it to me. It looks so good. So, Al, what's different? Stocco?
Okay, stoccu is it's either cod. It's usually cod or haddock, or what's the other one called? Hacky or something?
No, cod. It's either cod or haddock.
Okay, cod or haddock. Okay. Now, stoccu is dried, but traditionally it's dried as a whole fish.
Right.
Okay. And then what you do is you have to rehydrate it, and then you take the skin off, and you take the bones out, and then you cook it. Okay. And it has no salt in it.
Right.
Okay. If it has more than 17%
18%
salt in it, it can't be called stoccu. On the other side of the story, Baccala is salted.
And dried.
It's dried and then salted, and that's the one that's like flat that you see them all over the place. You have to rehydrate Baccala, and then you have to frequently change the water. Okay? Because the house stinks. My mom used to make that, okay?
I think I saw 20 to 24 hours. You have to soak it to get it.
Three times. You have to change the water minimum three times, okay? And then my family, this was a traditional Christmas. One of the Christmas things, of course, it culminated with Christmas Eve, when that used to be one of the fishes that Mom used to make, along with other fishes. We'll talk about that as we get closer to Christmas. But the whole house used to stink. When I was a little kid, I didn't like it because it made the whole house stink. But as I got older, it was great.
One of the favorite things that I like to do during the holidays, and especially Christmas, right? Last year for Christmas Eve, is to have a Baccala messinese, which is a Baccala made the Messina style. Now, did you know, Alfred, who brought the Baccala and the Stocco here?
No.
The Norwegians, the Normans from Norwegian. And the reason
from Norway, yeah.
That's right. The Normans brought it here, and they used it as bargaining chips when they arrived here. And the reason that they had a lot of Baccala,
wow, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
A lot of Baccala and Stocco on the ship is because it traveled well.
Right. Of course, it's dry. Of course.
And so for those long journeys by the boat, they were able to bring those. And then when they got to Sicily, they used it as bargaining chips.
It's really popular, and people go
only
crazy.
During this time.
Yeah.
During the Christmas period.
Stefania, I asked Eszter to replicate your recipe for next Friday. So next Friday, we'll be talking, and we're going to have your version of the stoccu. It's going to be
Go
great,
Sicily says, I love fried Baccala. The Rock Bronx, you should go to Acquavivia, Pefani, Muzumelli, Camarata, and Muzumelli castle.
Ah.
Okay.
To fry the baccala, you can't just take the baccala once it's reconstituted, so to speak. You have to kind of drag it through flour.
Yeah.
And then you put it in hot oil initially. And then when you cook this way, that when you cook it, it doesn't break apart. You don't want it to break apart all over the place. Although some people like it, but the ingredients of any type of a stoccu or baccala typically is a reduced tomato sauce, right?
Yeah.
Potatoes,
Capers,
celery, and olives.
That's
but
my
some
favorite.
people actually put in, like our pal Joe, his family puts in anchovies.
Yeah,
I've never had it.
I've
never had it with the
Marta
anchovies
says,
before.
we'll cook bacala this evening. What a coincidence. Codfish. That's funny. The Rock Bronx. Okay. Stefania. Okay, Al, that would be a pleasure. Thank you. Gotta get that going.
Stefania, you're getting to be our go-to expert for, snap cooking stuff. But it seems like we both eat the same diets. You and your husband and me and Eszter.
Girl who cooks. We also use bacala with marinara on Christmas Eve.
There you go.
With walnut breadcrumbs. My grandma called it melika. That's what your grandma.
Yeah.
The breadcrumbs, right?
Modica.
Yeah. Garlic, breadcrumbs, walnut, parsley, poor man's cheese. Anne Marie. Yeah, I know. So Mike says that's not a real cigar.
My friend Mike, he's talking about McWad. Okay, he's my hero in life. I want to grow up to be just like him. He's a commander over at SIG. He just won a big award, by the way. But he is a cigar aficionado. Okay, and he smokes the best cigars. So, and we always socialize. And every time we socialize, he always gives me one of his beautiful cigars. And I feel very humbled about it. And I give him, that's what I smoke.
Anne Marie and Mike, we love you guys. Jim Ingram, fish chips, cow chips, they are both steak.
Wait, what did Jimmy say? Fish chips?
Cow chips, they both stink. They do stink.
Oh my God, James.
All right. Anne Ortoldaza, I'm Sicilian and Spanish, so we ate it a lot.
Yeah.
Miss you guys so much. I miss you guys too. Hi, Maria and Anne Marie. Oh, they met last year, remember?
Oh.
Okay. Let's move on to World War
Wait a minute.
II.
I want to ask you one more question, okay? Have you ever had the ink squid sauce, the pasta?
Nero di Seppia.
Nero di Seppia.
I didn't have the pasta, but remember, I love the
cuttlefish.
Sauce.
That's a
cuttlefish.
Cuttlefish,
Ooh,
right? With the
you
ink.
love that.
That's great too. That's another one of our Christmas type things. Except we didn't have that on Christmas Eve because there'd be too many colors going around in our stomach, I think.
Hey, I want to ask you guys. We're thinking of doing a Thanksgiving episode right here. If you guys would be interested in that, leave us a message and also let us know what you want to hear about. So,
yeah, no, I think it's great.
On?
I want to do the Thanksgiving thing. I think it's good. What's on Thanksgiving morning at 10 o'clock in the morning in the East Coast, right?
The parades.
Well, whatever. We could have our own parade. We could have an imaginary parade. How does that sound? And now comes Peter Messina with his Crispelli display.
Don't give it all away.
Hey, Peter.
Al, don't give it away.
You know, I love Peter Messina and I talk now all the time. He calls me from America. He's the Crispelli king. Okay, this guy forgot more about making Crispellis and rice balls than anybody else. He says, the secret of a good Crispelli's good is that when you feel it, after you touch it, look at your fingers. If there's no oil on it, it's a good Crispelli. And the ones that our friends at Extra make in Via Grande, they're just like that.
And the ricotta one just bursts in your mouth.
It's crazy
incredible.
how good they are. It's just nuts.
Jim Ingram says, you look very Sicilian with that hat and cigar. Well, guess what? He's 100% Sicilian.
This is made of paper, Jim. This hat is made of paper. Can you believe it? It's made of paper. Even though it's lined on the inside, it's made of paper. And I've had it for 8 years. It's literally indestructible. I can't wear it in the summertime because it's way too hot. So I have to wear the other ones. But this type of weather, fall weather, winter weather, it's a great hat to wear. And how are you feeling? I hope things are okay with you, by the way.
Okay, let's move. Oh, yes to Thanksgiving, as a lot of us will be celebrating alone and missing family. Okay, that's it. We are going to have a Thanksgiving, same time, 4 o'clock our time?
Yeah. We'll keep it at the same time.
Perfect.
That'll be on Thursday, not this Thursday, a week from this Thursday.
Okay.
And by the way, rumor has it that my daughter Jennifer has her kids tuning in today. So if the kids tune
ciao.
in, that's going to be Rose and Johnny and my daughter Jen and maybe Jay. I'm sure JR, he's so busy. But hi, guys. I love you.
Anne Maria says, we are blessed for you both. Thank you so much. Sal Lazara, you two are great. Thank you for bringing a touch of Sicily into my heart each episode. I look forward to retiring in Sicily in the near future. Greetings from Chicago. Thank you so much. You know what? It's become, a vocation. We feel very honored and humbled to be able to bring Sicily to you.
You folks have to realize I'm very much old school. Okay, I was born in 1950, the transactional period between World War II and then the boomer generation, and I was brought up with that immigrant population who came over here in bilingual households. No matter where I went with my relatives, Sicilian was spoken. Sicilian dialect was spoken around the table because they were all the same. So that's what. That got into my head. And that's as I got older in life and they all began to drop off and die, I realized that there was a huge hole emotionally for me. Okay. And coming back here, though, like today, we went out, I took Eszter to run an errand and we bought some chestnuts and you see the big roasters with the smoke coming out of them. The other guy, our friend at the fruit family had the sausage. The sausage, cooking, and that's what Sundays are. You hear the bells of the church, boom, 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 boom. It's just like when we were kids. It's like when I was a kid in Lawrence, Massachusetts. That's what it was. I mean, basically, it's great. It's very, very nice. Okay, so
we're going to talk about Thanksgiving. So let's talk a little bit about World War II. We're going to stay on for another 10 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, wait, Maria. Okay, I got your question, Maria. I promise to address that next time. Okay, go ahead. The fruit fly. We missed fruit fly. Go ahead.
Okay. Listen, last week I told you about a couple of awards my grandfather got, medals and so forth. But the most unbelievable story I've heard from Sicily happened to my friend Joe. But I'm not going to mention you his last name, but he's a dear friend of mine, and his father, his name was John, okay? There were two kids, 13 and 14, Joe's father and Joe's father's brother. There were two kids, 13 and 14, in Ragusa, okay? And during Operation Husky in 1943, the British came up, and the Italians surrendered to the British, and the Italian soldiers were put in holding areas, okay? So these two boys used to go every day, and they used to throw a loaf of bread or something over the fence until they were shooed away by the British troops. One day, though, an officer came up to them and said, "Hey guys, can you do me a favor? Can you go run into town and get the doctor because our lieutenant has a compound fracture of his leg, and he's dying." Okay. So the two boys ran into town. They went into Ragusa. They went to the doctors. They said, "Quick, you have to come to the internment camp. One of our people is dying." And the guy says, "I'm not going there. If you want me to fix him, he's got to come here." So the two boys at nighttime, they got like scissors and they cut around the hole in the barbed wire fence. And the guy was brought out, and these two kids took this officer to the doctor who fixed him up. All right. But the kid says, "Hey, we're not going to bring him back." So they poked around and they found out some other people could put him on a boat and get him out of Ragusa, which is what they did. They brought him up to Messina, from there all the way up to Milano. Okay. He got to where he was from. Okay. So now this was in 1943. Okay. So a few years went by, like a few decades went by, and Joe's father, moved to America. And he was a very successful contractor, while the other brother, John, stayed in Ragusa. Well, one day the phone rang. It was his brother in Ragusa. He says, "Joe, send him me. Listen to me." He says, "I got a guy over here you got to talk to." And he handed the phone off to his brother in the States. Well, come to find out, it was that officer who ended up going. He was the son of a very famous surgeon. This guy ended up going to medical school, and he was a preeminent surgical physician in Milano, teaching at the medical school. But he never forgot those two kids. He hired a private investigator and to find out if these two kids were around.
What a great story.
And the PI found them. And because the story had entered the lore of Ragusa, so to speak.
Mm.
And this man, this doctor, now in his 80s, flew, from Milano to Ragusa, from Catania, then drove down, knocked on the door of the brother John to thank him, for saving his life. And now the guy in the States is listening to the doctor. So to me, out of all the thousands of stories that I know about, this one is close to the top because people think that the Italians were lousy fighters. I mean, 400,000 of them died during the Second World War. 400,000, almost 150,000 civilians died in the war. The problem wasn't the soldiers. The problem was terrible leadership. Terrible generals and no air cover, They got creamed by the Allies in the bombing because they didn't have the right equipment, whether it was in North Africa, whether it was in Ethiopia, whether it was, no matter where it was, So that's what my view is. The Italians were very heroic. They've always been heroic, And I remember when I was a kid, I used to get my chops busted all the time. Oh, the Italian Army. How about the Italian Navy? Why do they have glass bottoms on their, on the new Navy? So they could see the old Navy. I mean, I heard a million jokes about the Italians, but it wasn't soldiers. It was Mussolini. He was an idiot. And his generals that he had, the fascist generals, they were idiots too. They didn't give their troops, who were not all fascists, by the way, the proper equipment. And Sicily paid dearly. It was devastated during Operation Husky when Patton came in and when Montgomery came up. Messina got destroyed. Palermo got destroyed. Catania got destroyed. And every town between Ragusa and Messina got destroyed. Rubble. That's what it was like. Rubble. That's why a lot of the people came here, tried to come here post World War II. There was nothing for them to do.
Yeah.
There was no industry, no economy, no nothing.
Hey, you guys want to hear more about World War II? Maybe we should talk about a little bit more next week. Let us know in the comments.
I'll tell you about the story about Lucky Luciano next week.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I'll tell you about the mafia's involvement.
The mafia's involvement in
Operation
Sicily.
Husky.
Perfect.
Yeah.
We have, let me see. There's a lot of people. Nancy DeMarco, I'm late. Good morning. Never late. But remember, this stream will exist after we're finished, so you can go back and watch from the very beginning. Great insights into World War II, Alfred. Hi, Mike Costello. Loving the show. Ciao,
hey,
California.
Mike, we're going to sketch you those trinoculars.
Okay, so...
Wait a minute. I have to make one announcement, too.
Yeah.
Well, no, I have to make another announcement.
Hold on. And my grandparents' church, Santa Lucia El Borgo, all records lost in the bombing. That's correct. So sad.
That's
Second
correct.
set of books never made it to safely. Do a segment on researching your family history. Good idea.
I could do that.
And Maria, we also have to talk about what you have to do to prepare to move to Sicily, which is a question you asked before. Yeah. Carmen Termini, Beda Storia. Hey, can we have two?
We have two words.
Funny that you should say that, Carmen Termini, because the first two words that I learned when coming to Sicily were beda and bedu, and I still love to use them, right? Because
feminine and masculine, yeah.
And bedu. And you said, Alfred, that your grandmother, when you were a little kid, she used to go bedu, right?
That's
but
correct.
Here, like my friends say to each other in the gym, I hear it all the time. Beda, ciao, or yeah. I'll write to my friend, beda,
my grandmother used to say, figu, bedu, joy di mi cuore, joy of my heart. Matter of fact, the name of my third book
is
Figu, bedu, joy of my heart. That's why I call it that book. But there's a lot. I know a lot of you people of my age, or give or take in 15 years, and a lot of the stories that I have are your stories, because what happened to Alfred and the Zappala family, and Alfred and the Polizzardi, Lascola, or Teresi family, happened with you. Okay, I'm sure you have the cup. I'm absolutely sure that you have Christmas Eve. Wait till you hear the story about putting up the Christmas tree. in a Sicilian household.
Let's do that during Thanksgiving.
No, we'll do
Was
that at
that next
Christmas
week?
time as we
Oh,
get
okay.
closer.
All right.
Thanksgiving, I want to tell a story before we go.
Mhm.
I'm going to juxtapose a Sicilian Thanksgiving in the United States of America and the time I brought all my children here
Oh, yeah.
and we had Thanksgiving here. It's a great story. So you're going to love that too.
Okay. All right. So we're going to wrap it up now. Don't forget, this does exist on our YouTube. So if you're coming in late, you can scroll and watch from the beginning, and also make sure you share it with your friends and let us know in the comment below what you want to hear about next week.
Oh,
Last word.
okay. Esther, my technological guru of a girlfriend, Esther, she's invested in some new software. It's gonna
Technological nightmare.
It's gonna take her a few weeks to work the kinks out, but once she does, on our programming here, we're gonna be able to post pictures, and we'll also be able to interview people. You know, like on a split screen type of thing. This isn't Zoom.
Anne or Dolaza, you will have the school children sing for the vlog like in the past. Remember, we have those kids from Sigonella sing during
we have
one
to
of
ask
our...
Anne Marie to do that.
No. We had some of those kids sing in one of our...
Oh, that was great.
Okay,
I love
grazie
that.
mille. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in, and we will see you next week or next time on an episode of You, Me, and Sicily.
Sabanadiga.
Ciao.
What was that woman saying about